I need you to imagine this for a second. A man is standing in his kitchen at 2 a.m. The house is quiet but not peaceful, quiet like something is missing. Then it happens again. A newborn cry, small, sharp, and non-stop. The kind of sound that doesn't just fill a room, it fills your chest. He's a rancher, a tough one too. He knows how to pull a calf in the mud. He knows how to fix a broken fence in the dark. But this is different. He's holding a baby that's only days old. His hands look too big. His face looks too tired. And his eyes look like a man trying not to fall apart because his wife is gone. And now it's just him and this tiny life that depends on him for everything. He rocks the baby. He whispers. He checks the blanket. He walks the hallway again and again. Nothing works. The crying gets louder. The baby's lips search for comfort. And then he realizes the truth that makes his stomach drop. There's no milk. Not enough. Not any he can use right now. Not anything that will calm the baby. He opens cupboards like the answer might magically appear. He checks the fridge. He searches drawers he's never even used. His mind starts racing fast. What kind of father can't do this one simple thing? The baby cries harder. His hands shake. And right when it feels like the night is about to swallow him whole, there's a knock at the door. The knock doesn't sound loud. It's not the kind of knock that demands attention. It's gentle, like the person on the other side is already sorry for bothering him. At first, he thinks he imagined it. Sleep has been broken into pieces for days. Grief does that too. It plays tricks. It makes you hear things that aren't there. Then the knock comes again. The baby is still crying. His arms feel tight from holding her. His shirt smells like sweat and dust and that sweet newborn scent that should feel like joy, but right now feels like pressure. He looks at the clock without really reading it. He looks toward the door like it might be a problem, like it might be another thing he can't handle. He tries to calm the baby first. Hey, it's okay, he whispers, but his own voice sounds thin. The cry doesn't slow, it climbs. The knock comes a third time. He walks to the door fast, then slows down as he gets close. His ranch is far from other houses. People don't just show up, not in the middle of the night. Since his wife passed, even the daytime visits dried up. Folks sent a message. Some sent food once. Then life moved on for everyone else. He reaches the door and pauses with his hand on the knob. For a split second, he thinks of all the things he hasn't done. The crib he hasn't finished fixing. The thank you notes he never wrote. The calls he didn't return. The way he stopped going into town because every corner reminded him of her. The way the house still has her things, like she might walk back in if he just leaves them alone. He pulls the door open. A cold night breeze slips inside. On the porch stands a girl, not a little kid, not a grown woman either, somewhere in between. Late teens, maybe older. Hair pulled back like she did it in a hurry. A thick sweater too big for her arms. Her cheeks are red from the cold and her eyes are wide, not bold wide, but careful wide. Like she's ready to run if he gets angry. In her hands is a small bag, and in the bag he can see a bottle, maybe two. He can't even process that yet. His brain is stuck on one question. What are you doing here? She swallows. I'm sorry, she says quickly, like she practiced those words. I didn't mean to scare you. I heard the baby. He tightens his grip around the newborn without meaning to. The baby's face is scrunched, mouth open, tiny fists shaking. The cry is still going, but now it sounds different, like it's echoing out into the night. The girl's gaze drops to the baby and something in her expression changes. It softens, like she's looking at a real person, not a problem. I live over the fence line, she says. The small house by the trees. You might have seen me before. He has, maybe, a glimpse. Someone feeding chickens, someone walking along the dirt road. He never paid much attention, not because he was rude, because his world shrank after his wife got sick. After the hospital visits, after the quiet funeral, after the first night alone, she continues faster now. I was studying, I couldn't sleep, and I heard crying. I thought something was wrong. I didn't know if you had anyone. Her voice breaks a little on the last words, like she didn't mean to say them out loud. He looks at her like he doesn't understand what kindness is anymore. It feels strange, like a language he used to speak but forgot. The baby cries again, louder, and the rancher flinches. Not from the sound, from the guilt that comes with it. I'm fine, he says, but it comes out wrong. It doesn't sound like fine. It sounds like a man lying because he doesn't want to crumble in front of a stranger. The girl nods, but she doesn't move away. Okay, she says softly, but I brought something. Just in case. She holds out the bag, careful, like she's offering him something fragile. He doesn't take it right away. His eyes lock on the bottle again. His throat goes dry. What is that? He asks, even though he already knows what it is. Formula, she says. And some bottles. My aunt keeps extra. She works at the clinic. When I heard the baby, I ran next door and asked her. She said to bring it. She said babies can't wait. The words hit him like a sudden shove. Babies can't wait. Of course they can't. The baby doesn't care if he's grieving. The baby doesn't care if he's learning. The baby only cares about one thing: survival, warmth, food, safety. He finally takes the bag and his hand shakes a little as he does it. He tries to hide it. He spent his whole life hiding weakness. On a ranch, people don't have time for softness. You work. You solve problems. You don't fall apart. But a newborn doesn't follow ranch rules. Thank you, he says, but his voice is rough. It sounds like it's scraping his own chest on the way out. The girl lifts her chin slightly. Do you know how to mix it? He freezes. The question is simple, normal, but it feels like being asked if he knows how to breathe. He opens his mouth, then closes it. His pride rises first, like it always does. He almost says yes, almost pretends, but the baby cries again, and the truth is bigger than pride. No, he admits, barely audible. I don't. The girl nods like she expected it, like she's seen this before, like she understands that some people are strong in one kind of life and lost in another. I can show you, she says, if that's okay. He should say no. A man alone on a ranch, letting a neighbor girl into his house at night. It sounds wrong. It sounds like gossip waiting to happen. It sounds like trouble. But then he looks down at the baby's face. Red and wet, mouth searching, hands trembling. This is not about stories people might tell. This is about getting through the next 10 minutes. He steps back and opens the door wider. The girl steps inside, and the house feels different instantly, like air moved through a room that has been closed for too long. She keeps her eyes down, like she knows she's in someone else's grief and she doesn't want to disturb it. The kitchen light is harsh. It shows the mess he didn't clean. A stack of dishes, a folded blanket on a chair, a baby towel on the counter that he forgot to put away, a note on the fridge in his wife's handwriting that he can't bring himself to remove. The girl notices something, but she doesn't stare. She just moves toward the counter and sets the bag down. Her hands work calmly. She washes them. She reads the formula label. She looks for clean water. She asks short questions, practical ones. Do you have a kettle? He points. There. She fills it, turns it on. While they wait, she glances at the baby and then at him. You've been doing this alone? She asks quietly. He wants to say no. He wants to say someone is coming tomorrow. He wants to say he has it handled. But the words don't form. He just nods once. The girl doesn't pity him. That's what surprises him. Her face doesn't twist into that sad look people give at funerals. She just nods back like she has accepted a fact and is ready to act. When the water is ready, she measures carefully. She explains as she goes, like a teacher who doesn't make you feel stupid. A little warm, not hot. Shake it well. Test it on your wrist. He watches every step like it's a lifeline. He tries to memorize it fast, panic still buzzing under his skin. She hands him the bottle, and for a moment he just holds it, scared of doing it wrong. Angle her like this, she says, guiding with words, not touching, giving him space to be the father. He brings the bottle to the baby's lips, and then almost instantly the crying stops. Not slowly, not in steps. It stops like a switch was flipped. The baby latches on, tiny jaw moving, eyes half closing, the whole body softening into relief. The sound that fills the room now isn't crying. It's quiet swallowing, little breaths. Peace. The rancher's shoulders drop so hard it feels like his bones have been holding them up all week. He stares down at the baby, like he's seeing her for the first time without fear. The girl watches too, and her eyes shine a little, but she blinks it away. "There," she whispers, like she's speaking to the baby, not him. "You're okay." He stands there, bottle in hand, and something inside him cracks in a way that hurts and heals at the same time. He keeps his face turned down, because if he looks up, he might not be able to keep his voice steady. Still, words slip out. "I didn't know what to do." The girl nods again. "Most people don't," she says. "Not at first." He takes a breath. The air feels colder in his lungs now, like reality is returning. He glances toward the open door behind her, the dark porch, the empty night. "Why did you come?" he asks, and it's not suspicion this time. It's confusion, real confusion, like kindness doesn't fit into his world anymore. She hesitates. Her fingers grip the edge of her sweater. "Because someone should," she says. And then more quietly, "And because my mom was alone when my little brother was born, I remember that." For a moment the rancher can't answer. The sentence lands and stays there. "My mom was alone. I remember that." It doesn't sound like a dramatic line. It sounds like a simple truth she has carried for years. The baby keeps drinking, calm now, making those tiny soft noises that feel almost unreal after the screaming. The rancher watches her like he's afraid the peace will break if he blinks. His fingers tighten around the bottle again. He is careful, too careful, like he's holding something borrowed. The girl steps back from the counter and studies the room without really looking at anything, like she's giving him privacy, even while standing right there. He notices that. He notices a lot of things about her in seconds. She's not acting nosy. She isn't poking around. She isn't asking rude questions. She's just present, that's it. Like a lamp turned on in a dark room, he clears his throat. "What's your name?" he asks. She hesitates, then answers. "Leela," he nods once. He almost says his full name out of habit, then stops. He hasn't introduced himself to anyone new since the funeral. "I'm Cole." "Hi, Cole," she says, and there's no awkwardness in it. No heavy pause. Just a straight greeting, as if this is a normal night. As if he's just a neighbor, not a widower balancing on the edge of panic. The baby slows down, little mouth still working, but not as desperate anymore. Her eyes flutter. Her tiny hand opens and closes against his shirt. Cole feels something in his chest tighten again, but different now. Less fear, more ache. He looks up at Leela. "Thank you," he says again, but this time it comes out like the words actually mean something. Like he's giving her a piece of himself, not just saying a polite line. She shrugs, but it's not the rude kind. It's the kind people do when they don't know how to accept gratitude. "It's okay," she says. I didn't want her to keep crying." He glances down at the baby. "Neither did I." There's a pause, and in that quiet, Cole feels how tired he is. Not just sleepy tired. The deep kind. The kind that lives in your bones. The kind that makes your thoughts slow and your hands clumsy. Leela seems to sense it. "Have you eaten?" she asks. Cole almost laughs, but nothing comes out. "I don't even remember," he admits. She nods like she expected it again. "Okay, one thing at a time." The way she says it is steady, like a small plan. Like a rope someone throws you when you're slipping. The baby finishes the bottle and turns her head, mouth relaxed, cheeks full. Cole keeps holding her upright like he's seen in a video, but he's not sure if he's doing it right. The baby makes a soft burp, so small it barely counts, and Cole's eyes widen like he just witnessed magic. Leela smiles, quick and quiet. "See, you're doing fine." Cole looks at her and the words come out before he can stop them. "I'm not." Leela doesn't argue, she just says, "You're here, that counts." That line hits him harder than it should, because he has been asking himself a dark question at night when the house gets too quiet, a question he hates, a question that makes him feel guilty the second it appears. What if I can't do this? What if I break? What if I mess her up? He shifts the baby in his arms and walks toward the living room without thinking, like his body is moving by instinct now. Leela follows slowly, keeping space. The living room still looks like his wife. A folded quilt on the couch. A stack of old magazines. A framed photo on the side table that he hasn't had the courage to move. In it, his wife is smiling, holding her belly with one hand, his arm wrapped around her. Cole's eyes flick to it and away, fast like it burns. Leela notices the motion. She doesn't stare at the photo either. She just asks gently, "How long has it been?" Cole's jaw tightens. 7 weeks. Leela's eyes soften. "That's really recent," Cole nods. Everyone says time helps. But right now time just feels like space she's not in. Leela doesn't offer a big speech. She just says, "Yeah, I get that." Cole looks at her. "You said your mom was alone." Leela sits on the edge of a chair, careful not to act too comfortable. "My dad left when I was little," she says. "My mom worked nights sometimes. When my brother was born, he screamed a lot. One night I woke up and heard her crying in the kitchen. Not just tired crying. Like scared crying." Cole listens without blinking. The baby is asleep now, warm against his chest. The weight of her feels like reality, like responsibility, like love he hasn't learned yet. Leela continues, voice low. "A neighbor came over, an older lady. She brought formula and diapers and said, 'Stop trying to be a hero, let people help you.' I never forgot that." She pauses and adds, "So when I heard the baby tonight, I couldn't ignore it." Cole swallows. He wants to say something, but his throat is tight. Leela glances at the baby. "She's tiny." Cole nods. "She was early." There it is. Another truth that sits on the table like a heavy object. The baby wasn't supposed to be here yet. They weren't supposed to be doing this yet. His wife was supposed to be here. That's the sentence he never says out loud, but it lives in the house with him. Leela seems to read the silence around it. She shifts forward, hands clasped. "Do you have a doctor's number for her?" she asks. Cole frowns. "Yeah, on my phone." "Good," Leela says. "And do you know how often she needs to eat?" Cole hesitates. "Every few hours," Leela nods. "Usually, yeah. Especially when they're small. If she's early, you might need to be extra careful." She says it gently, not like a warning meant to scare him. More like information he deserves to have. Cole exhales. "I'm learning as I go," he admits. "That's how everyone does it," Leela says. "Even the people who pretend they don't." Cole looks down at the baby's face, relaxed now, mouth slightly open. He brushes her cheek with one finger and feels her skin. It's so soft it almost makes him angry. Angry at the world. Angry at how unfair it is. Angry that something this innocent can come into a life already shattered. He speaks without looking up. "I tried to go into town earlier, but it was too late, everything was closed." Leela nods. "Sometimes the simplest thing becomes the hardest thing." Cole gives a small, bitter smile. "I can handle a storm, I can handle a sick horse. I can handle 1,000 pounds of angry bull, but I can't handle a bottle." Leela lets out a quiet breath that is almost a laugh. "You handled the bottle," she says. "You just needed someone to show you." Cole shifts, sitting down carefully, still holding the baby. "People used to come around," he says, almost to himself. "Right after the funeral. They brought pies. They told me to call. They said they were here." His voice tightens. "Then they stopped." Leela doesn't defend anyone. "Most people don't know what to do with grief," she says. "They show up once so they can feel like they tried, then they get scared of saying the wrong thing." Cole's eyes lift to her. "And you're not scared?" Leela pauses. "I am," she admits. "But being scared doesn't mean you don't do it." That line stays between them. Simple, sharp, true. The baby shifts and makes a small sound, not a cry, just a sleepy complaint. Cole freezes instantly, like his body expects the storm to start again. Leela notices and leans forward. "She's okay," she says quickly. "That's normal." Cole nods, but the fear doesn't leave his eyes. It's like his brain learned the baby's cry as danger. Leela glances at the clock, then back at him. "Do you have a place for her to sleep?" she asks. Cole points down the hallway. "In the bedroom, bassinet. My wife, she picked it out." His voice cracks on the word wife. He hates it. He hates that his voice betrays him. He presses his lips together and looks away. Leela's face stays calm, but her eyes soften again. "Do you want me to show you how to set her down?" she asks, careful. "Sometimes they wake up if you move too fast." Cole almost refuses. Pride jumps up like a guard dog, but then he remembers the baby's scream. He remembers the empty cabinets. He remembers the panic. He nods once. "Yeah," he says quietly, "please." Leela stands slow like she doesn't want to startle him. "Okay," she says. "Let's do it together." And as Cole rises with the baby, following her down the hallway, he realizes something strange. For the first time since his wife died, the house doesn't feel like it's closing in on him. It still hurts. It still aches. But it doesn't feel empty in the same way, because someone heard the crying, and someone came. Leela moves like she's trying to be invisible, but she's still useful. That's the strange part. She doesn't take over. She doesn't act like the baby is hers. She just guides Cole with small, calm words, like she's showing him a path he couldn't see in the dark. "In the bassinet," she whispers as they enter the bedroom. "Lower her slow. Keep your hand on her chest for a second. Let her feel you're still there." Cole follows every step like it's a set of rules that can keep the world from falling apart. The baby stirs as he lowers her and his heart jumps. He holds his breath. His arms shake from being tired, but Leela's voice stays steady. "Now pause," she says, "just like that." The baby's face tightens for a second, then relaxes. Her breathing stays slow. Cole slowly lifts his hand away. The baby doesn't wake. Cole just stands there, staring, like he can't believe it worked. Leela gives him a small nod, almost proud, but she doesn't push it. "You did it," she whispers. Cole lets out a breath that feels like it's been trapped in his chest for days. He steps back from the bassinet and rubs his eyes hard with one hand, as if he can wipe away the whole week. He looks down at the baby again, peaceful, safe. Then he looks at the other side of the bed. His wife's pillow is still there. Her side still looks untouched. There's a sweater folded on a chair that smells like her, and he hates that it still smells like her. He hates that it might stop smelling like her one day. Leela notices the way his eyes stick there, the way his face changes. She doesn't say, "I'm sorry." She doesn't say, "She's in a better place." She just speaks like a person who understands silence. "I should go," she whispers. Cole turns to her quickly. The panic rises again. Not baby panic. Different panic. The kind that comes when you realize the only person who helped you is about to leave. He tries to keep his voice normal. It's late. You shouldn't be walking back alone." Leela shrugs lightly. "It's close, and I've done it 100 times." Cole nods, then realizes he doesn't want the night to end like this. He doesn't want to go back to being alone in a house that echoes. He wants to say something that feels solid, something that keeps the door open. "How much do I owe you?" he asks. Leela's eyes widen, almost offended. "Nothing," Cole shifts awkwardly. "At least let me pay for the formula." She shakes her head fast. "No, please, my aunt will replace it." "She won't care." Cole looks at the floor. "I care," he says quietly, "and it's not about money. It's about the feeling of taking from someone when he has nothing to give back." Leela softens again. "Then do this," she says. "Get some sleep. And tomorrow, if you want, I can bring more, or I can write down what you need. You can get it in town when the store opens. Tomorrow." The word sounds like a heavy thing. A whole day he has to survive. Cole nods once. "What time does the store open?" 7, she says, "but the pharmacy opens at 8. Cole repeats it like he's memorizing a code. 7, 8. Leela steps toward the door. Cole follows her into the hallway, quiet as they pass the bassinet again. At the front door, she pulls her sweater tighter and turns back. "One more thing," she says. Cole looks at her. "If she cries again, don't wait too long," Leela says. Newborn cries feel like they're forever, but they're just signals. Hungry, cold, wet, lonely. It's not you failing, it's her talking. Cole swallows. "Okay." Leela hesitates again, then adds, "And if you need help, you can knock too. It doesn't always have to be the other way." Cole doesn't answer right away. He just nods, because if he tries to speak, his voice might break all the way. When Leela steps off the porch and disappears into the night, Cole stands at the door until he can't see her anymore. Then he closes it quietly and leans his forehead against the wood like his body finally remembers it's tired. He checks the baby once more. Still asleep. He sits on the edge of the bed and stares at his hands. They look the same as yesterday, strong, rough, capable, but he feels different, like he's been humbled by something smaller than a cat. He lies down without taking off his boots. Sleep comes in short bursts. He keeps waking up, listening. Every little sound makes his heart jump. The house creaks. The wind taps a window. The baby makes a tiny noise and Cole's eyes snap open. By morning, he's running on almost nothing. Still, he gets up, checks the baby. She's awake, squirming. He remembers the rules. Warm water, shake, wrist test, bottle angle. The baby eats again and Cole feels a strange pride, like he just learned a new language and said his first sentence. At 7, he drives into town. He walks into the store with a stiff posture, like he's expecting someone to laugh at him. He doesn't belong in the baby aisle. He belongs in the feed aisle, the tool aisle, the section with rope and gloves and nails. But he stands there staring at rows of cans, bottles, nipples, diapers, wipes, and tiny clothes. He feels dumb. He feels lost. A woman pushing a cart glances at him, then at the newborn carrier in his hand, and her expression changes. Soft, curious. Then she leans toward another woman and whispers. Cole sees it. His jaw tightens. He grabs the first formula he recognizes from Leela's bag and throws it into the cart. He doesn't compare labels. He doesn't check ages. He just wants out. On the way to the register, someone calls his name. Cole, he turns and sees a man he knows from town, a guy who used to work cattle auctions with him. The man's eyes drop to the baby carrier, then lift to Cole's face. The surprise is obvious. Didn't expect to see you here, the man says. Cole forces a small nod. Yeah, the man's voice gets softer. How you holding up? Cole thinks of the truth. The crying, the empty cabinets, the shaking hands, the porch knock. He thinks of Leela's calm voice. He lies a little. We're managing. The man nods and pats his shoulder and Cole stiffens at the touch. If you need anything, the man says, then walks away like he said the line and completed the task. Cole drives back to the ranch with the formula on the seat beside him like it's fragile. When he turns onto his road, he sees Leela waiting by the fence line. Not right at his house. Not crossing boundaries. Just there like she promised without being loud about it. She lifts a hand in a small wave. Cole stops the truck and steps out, carrying the bag from town. Leela walks closer, still staying polite distance away. You got it, she asks. Cole nods. Yeah, Leela smiles quick, then looks at the baby carrier. How was she? She ate, Cole says. Leela's smile grows a little. Good, Cole hesitates. I didn't know what kind to buy. I just got what you brought last night. Perfect, Leela says. Sometimes simple is best. Cole shifts his weight, uncomfortable with how much he needs her help. He tries to sound firm. I can handle it from here. Leela doesn't look offended. She just nods. Okay, if you're sure. Cole is sure of one thing. He wants to be sure. He wants to be the kind of father who doesn't need a neighbor girl to rescue him. But that same afternoon, when the baby won't settle and his hands start to shake again, Cole realizes something he doesn't like admitting. Knowing what to do once doesn't mean you're ready for every time. And when evening comes and the sun drops behind the fields, the ranch starts to feel too quiet again. Cole feeds the baby, changes her, rocks her, walks the hallway. He does everything the way he remembers, but the baby keeps fussing. Her cry grows sharp, angry, like she's fighting something inside her little body. Cole checks her forehead. It feels warmer than before. His stomach drops. He tries to tell himself it's nothing, that babies get warm, that he's imagining it, that he's just scared because he doesn't know what normal feels like yet. But the baby cries harder. Cole looks at the phone on the table and his pride rises like a wall. He thinks of the store whispers. He thinks of people watching him. He thinks of being the man who can't even handle his own baby. Then he hears Leela's voice in his head from the night before. Babies can't wait. Cole grabs the phone. His hand hesitates over the contacts. He scrolls. His eyes stop on a number he saved earlier but hoped he wouldn't need. He taps it. And as the line starts ringing, Cole realizes he's not calling because he's weak. He's calling because he's learning what real strength looks like. The phone rings twice before someone answers, and for a moment Cole almost hopes nobody picks up. Not because he doesn't want help, because once someone picks up it becomes real. It means he's admitting he's scared. "Hello," Leela's voice comes through, a little sleepy, but alert the moment she hears the baby crying in the background. Cole swallows. "It's me," he says. She feels warm and she won't settle. There's no teasing, no surprise, no long questions that waste time. Leela's tone shifts into that calm, steady voice again, like she just stepped into the room. "Okay," she says. "How warm, like sweaty warm or fever warm?" Cole looks down at the baby's forehead. "Fever warm." "Do you have a thermometer?" Leela asks. Cole freezes. He looks around the room like a thermometer might be hiding behind a chair. I don't think so." "Okay," Leela says, still calm. "Listen, wrap her in a light blanket, not heavy, don't overdress her, and keep her upright. I'm coming." Cole's pride tries to speak again. "I can handle it. Don't come, it's late. Let me figure it out." But the baby cries so hard her little face goes purple and the pride gets crushed under fear. "Okay," he whispers. He hangs up and starts moving fast, then too fast. His hands fumble with the blanket. The baby squirms. He tries to rock her, but his rocking turns jerky because his heart is pounding. "Please," he murmurs, not sure if he's speaking to the baby or to the night itself. "Please be okay." Every minute feels long. The ranch is quiet outside. No cars, no lights, just wind and darkness. Inside, the baby's cry fills every corner of the house that used to belong to his wife, and Cole feels like he's failing her too, not just the baby. Then there's a knock. He opens the door before the second knock comes, and Leela steps in with her hair pulled back and shoes half-tied, like she ran out without thinking twice. In one hand she holds a small kit and in the other a grocery bag. "My aunt," she says quickly, seeing his face. "She put this together. Thermometer, infant medicine, little notes. She said to bring it." Cole's chest tightens. "Tell her later," Leela says gently. "First the baby." She doesn't wait for permission this time. Not because she's rude, because she knows what matters. "Give her to me for 1 second," she says. Cole hesitates only a heartbeat, then hands the baby over like he's handing over his own lungs. The baby cries harder for a moment, then pauses, confused by the new arms. Leela moves to the couch and sits, keeping the baby upright against her shoulder. Her hand pats slowly, steady rhythm. Not too fast, not panicked, just sure. "Okay," she says. "Let's check her." She pulls out the thermometer and shows Cole how it works. "I'll do it first," she says, "and you watch. Then you'll know for next time." Cole nods like a student, like a man being taught how to care for a life. The temperature reads high enough to make Cole's stomach twist. "What does that mean?" he asks, voice tight. "It means we take it seriously," Leela says, "but it doesn't mean we freak out." Cole lets out a shaky breath. "I'm already freaking out." Leela finally looks at him fully. "I know," she says, "but you called. That was the right move." Cole runs a hand over his face. "I can handle cattle emergencies. I've seen blood. I've seen broken bones. But this," he glances at the baby's tiny ear, the tiny fingers gripping Leela's sweater. "This is so small." Leela nods. "That's why it feels bigger." She reads the little notes in the kit, then speaks clearly. "We can try to bring the fever down gently, and we should call her doctor. If the doctor says go in, we go in. No debates." Cole nods again, too fast. "Call." "Do it." Leela hands him the phone. "You call," she says. "You're her dad." That word hits him again. Dad. It sounds heavy, like a coat that doesn't fit yet. Cole scrolls with shaking thumbs and calls the clinic number he saved. When the nurse answers, Cole stumbles over his words, but he keeps talking. He describes the temperature, the feeding, the crying, the baby's age. The nurse asks questions. Cole answers. His voice steadies a little as he goes because he's focused now. He has a job, a clear next step. Leela sits nearby, quiet, letting him take the lead, only raising a finger when he forgets something, mouthing a reminder without interrupting. Cole mentions that the baby was early. The nurse's tone changes instantly. "Okay," the nurse says, "I want you to bring her in." Cole's heart drops through the floor. "Now, Yes, the nurse says. Tonight. Better safe. Cole's eyes flick to Leela. She gives him a small nod like we already knew this could happen. When he ends the call, his hands feel numb. We have to go, he says, voice flat. Okay, Leela replies. I'll help you pack. Cole stands there like his brain is trying to load. Pack what? Diapers, Leela says. Wipes, extra blanket, formula, a spare onesie if you have it, your ID, her papers if you have them. Cole blinks. Right. They move together through the house, and it's the first time the house feels like it has a plan. Leela finds diapers in a drawer Cole hadn't even realized was full. Cole grabs formula and bottles. He searches for the baby's documents with frantic hands. His wife had organized everything once. Now the system feels like a door that only she knew how to open. In the nursery, Cole finds a small folder with a sticky note on top, in his wife's handwriting. Baby stuff. His throat tightens so hard he can barely breathe. He holds the folder for a second like it's sacred, then forces himself to move. Leela watches his face and lowers her voice. You okay? Cole shakes his head once. No, he says, but I'm moving. That's enough, Leela says. They load the truck in the dark. The baby is quieter now, tired from crying, eyes half closed. Cole drives like the road is too narrow and too wide at the same time. Every bump makes him flinch. At the clinic, the lights are bright and unforgiving. The waiting room smells like disinfectant. Cole feels out of place in his boots and jacket. He looks like a man who belongs outdoors, not under fluorescent lights. A nurse takes the baby. Cole's arms feel empty instantly, like he made a mistake giving her over, even though he had to. Leela stands beside him, hands clasped, watching the nurse's movements carefully. Cole whispers, "What if it's serious?" Leela answers without sugar. "Then you're in the right place." Cole stares at the wall, jaw tight. He can hear voices behind a door. He can hear the baby cry again for a moment, and his whole body reacts like a punch. Leela leans closer. "Cole," she says softly, "look at me." He turns. "You're not failing," she says. "This is what parenting is. It's reacting, it's adjusting, it's getting help when you don't know." Cole's eyes burn. He blinks hard. "I hate that I don't know," Leela nods. "Of course you do. Your whole life you've been the guy who knows." They sit. Time stretches. Cole's foot taps without stopping. He thinks about his wife in this same building weeks ago. He remembers her squeezes of his hand. He remembers the way she tried to smile even when she was tired. He remembers promising her, right there, that he would take care of their baby. And for the first time, he realizes something painful. Taking care doesn't mean doing everything alone. A doctor finally comes out. Explains it might be an infection, maybe a small virus, but because she's so young, they want to be careful. They'll monitor her, maybe transfer her to a bigger hospital if needed. More tests, more waiting. Cole nods as if he understands every word, but his mind catches on one phrase, monitor her. He looks at Leela, then back at the doctor. "Can I stay with her?" he asks. The doctor nods. "Yes, one parent can stay." Parent, again that word. Cole turns to Leela and the gratitude in his eyes is big and raw. "You should go home," he says. "It's late. You've done enough." Leela shakes her head. "Not yet," she says. "Not until you're settled." Cole's voice drops. "Why are you doing this?" Leela's lips press together. "Because I remember how it felt," she says. "To hear someone you love crying and not know how to fix it." Cole's eyes flicker. "And your mom's neighbor, she helped." Leela nods. "Yeah. So now it's my turn to be that neighbor." They walk down the hallway to the small room where the baby lies under warm light, tiny chest moving up and down. Cole steps closer slowly like he's afraid to disturb her. He lays a finger on her blanket and feels the heat, the life. And in that quiet room, Cole feels something shift again. Not relief, not happiness. Something deeper, a new rule forming inside him. If she needs him, he shows up, even if he needs help to do it. Cole sits in the chair beside the baby's little hospital bed, and the world shrinks down to the sound of her breathing. The machine beside her makes soft beeps that he doesn't fully understand, but he learns quickly which ones mean normal, and which ones make the nurses step in faster. Every time a nurse adjusts a tube or checks her temperature, Cole stands up like he's supposed to do something, like his body refuses to relax. Leela stays for a while, sitting against the wall with her arms folded, eyes half open but still watching. She doesn't talk much. She doesn't distract him with jokes. She just stays in the room like an anchor. When a nurse finally says, "She's stable," the words should feel like a win. But Cole can't celebrate. His chest is still tight because stable doesn't sound like safe yet. It sounds like waiting. He looks at Leela. "You can go," he says again, quieter. "Really?" Leela stands, stretching her shoulders like she's older than her age for a second. "Okay," she says, "but I'm coming back in the morning." Cole starts to argue, then stops. He realizes arguing is just his pride trying to take back control. He nods. "Thank you," he whispers. Leela steps closer to the baby's bed and looks down at her small face. "Hey," she murmurs like she's talking to the baby. "Be nice to him, okay? He's new at this." Cole's mouth twitches at that. It's not a smile, not fully, but it's something. It's a crack in the stone. When Leela leaves, the room feels quieter but not empty. Cole is still here. The baby is still here. The nurses are down the hall. He isn't alone in the way he was. Hours pass in strange pieces. Cole dozes in the chair, waking every few minutes, jolting like he forgot where he is. At one point he wakes up and thinks he hears his wife's voice. It's just a nurse talking softly, but for a second the grief hits him fresh, sharp, like it happened yesterday. He stands and walks to the window at the end of the hall. Outside, the sky is pale blue, almost white. Morning comes whether you're ready or not. He leans his forehead against the glass. He thinks about the ranch. The animals still need feeding. The fences still need checking. Life doesn't pause because your heart is broken. He used to hate that. Now he's almost grateful for it. A routine is a rope. Doors open behind him. A nurse calls his name. "Cole, the doctor wants to update you." Cole turns fast, stomach tight again, and follows. The doctor speaks carefully. "Tests look okay. No major infection found so far. They'll watch her for the day. Hydration, temperature. If she keeps improving, they can go home later." Cole nods through it, but his eyes keep drifting back toward the baby's room, like his body refuses to focus on anything else. When he returns, he finds Leela there already, standing by the door with a paper cup of coffee in one hand. She looks tired, but she still showed up. "I brought you this," she says, holding out the cup. It's not fancy. Cole takes it like it's a gift from another world. "Thanks." Leela leans closer. "How is she?" Cole exhales. "Better, they're still checking." Leela nods. "Okay, better is good." They sit quietly for a while. The baby sleeps again, tiny face relaxed, the fever slowly dropping. Cole watches her chest rise and fall like he's counting it. Leela finally speaks, almost casual. "I called my aunt," she says. "She's going to drop off some supplies at your porch later. More formula, a thermometer, stuff you'll need." Cole looks at her sharply. "I can pay for it." Leela shakes her head. "She said no. She said, tell him to stop trying to pay people back and start letting people in." Cole's jaw tightens and he looks away. Those words feel like a threat to the wall he's built around himself. Let people in. That's dangerous. If you let people in, they can leave. They can disappoint you. They can remind you of what you lost. Leela watches him struggle, then says quietly, "You don't have to do it all today, just 1 inch at a time." Cole lets out a breath. "You talk like you've done this." Leela's eyes shift. "I had to grow up early," she says. "That's all." Cole studies her. He realizes he knows almost nothing about her. Not really. Just that she came in the dark with a bag of formula and a calm voice. That she didn't hesitate. That she saw a baby crying and decided it mattered. He asks, "Do your parents know you're here?" Leela nods. "My mom does," she says. "We live with my aunt right now. It's just the 3 of us." Cole nods slowly. "That's why you understand." Leela doesn't answer directly. She glances at the baby and says, "She's lucky." Cole almost laughs, but it comes out as air. "Lucky?" he repeats like the word doesn't fit. Leela turns her head, eyes steady. "Yeah," she says, "because you're scared, that means you care." Cole swallows hard. His eyes drop to his hands, rough hands, working hands. Hands that used to feel sure. Now they feel like they're learning a new job. Later that afternoon, the doctor says the baby can go home if her temperature stays down for a few more hours. Cole nods like he understands, but inside he's terrified again. At the clinic, there are nurses and machines and people who know what to do. At home, it's just him, just the ranch, just the silence that gets loud at night. He tries to hide that fear, but Leela sees it anyway. She always sees it. On the drive back, Leela follows in her aunt's car. Cole notices in the mirror she didn't have to do that, but she did. At the ranch, as the sun lowers, the light turns gold over the fields. It should feel peaceful. It doesn't. It feels like the start of another test. Cole carries the baby inside, moving carefully like the air might break her. The house smells the same. Dust, wood, a faint trace of his wife's perfume that still clings to the hallway like a ghost. He feels it hit him again, that split second of grief, and he has to swallow it down. Leela steps inside and pauses near the door, not invading, just present. Cole sets the baby down in the bassinet and watches her settle. Then he stands there, hands hovering, waiting for the cry that might come. It doesn't. For a moment there is quiet that feels okay. Cole turns to Leela. "You don't have to keep coming," he says, like he's trying to free her, but also like he's afraid she'll agree. Leela tilts her head. "I know," she says, "but I want to." Cole's throat tightens again. "Why?" he asks. "You have your own life." Leela takes a breath. "Because you helped my aunt once," she says. "Years ago, she told me." Cole frowns. "I did," Leela nods. "Her truck got stuck near the wash. You pulled it out. You didn't ask for money, you didn't even talk much. You just did it and left." Cole stares, trying to remember. He can picture it now. A rainy day. A truck sunk in mud. He did what he always does. He helped because it was the right thing. Then he went back to his own work. He never thought it would matter later. Leela's voice softens. "Some people are quiet helpers, Cole. You were. Now it's your turn to let someone help you." Cole looks toward the bassinet. The baby shifts in her sleep. Tiny sounds, life. He whispers, almost like it's a confession. "I don't know how to be this person." Leela nods. "Then we learn," she says. "You don't have to become a different man, you just have to add something." Cole's eyes sting. He blinks hard. He feels the urge to shut down, to change the subject, to go outside and pretend he needs to check the fence. Instead, he stays. He walks to the kitchen and opens a drawer. He pulls out a notebook and a pen, sets it on the table. Leela looks at him, curious. Cole taps the notebook. "Write it down," he says, voice rough. "The feeding times, how to mix it, what to watch for, all of it." Leela's face brightens just a little, not like she won a battle, but like she sees a door opening. "Okay," she says, and sits down. Cole pours water, sets out the formula, lines up the bottles like equipment in a barn. The movements are still awkward, but they're getting less shaky. He watches Leela write neat lines on the paper, and then he copies them in his own messy handwriting, like he's making the rules his. The baby stirs again and makes a small sound. Cole freezes, then breathes, then checks the bassinet. The baby's eyes open slowly, confused, searching. Cole walks over. He leans in close. His voice comes out low and steady, not perfect, but real. "Hey," he whispers. "I'm here." And when the baby's tiny fingers curl around his thumb, Cole feels something new settle into place. Not the end of grief, not a miracle, just the start of a different kind of life.